Hello, hello. Welcome to today's messages and healing tones. Oh, I can fit right there. Yes. Okay. Welcome to today's messages. Whatever day that is for you, it's meant to be because that's how the energy works. It goes, it flows, it attracts, it repels, it does all kinds of beautiful things, it heals. Okay. Rosemary. I was meditating on Rosemary, and what a beautiful name. I've been looking into Mary Magdalene and the Order of the Rose and the Sisters of the Rose, and it's Rosemary, right? And super healing. Good for the mind, body, and spirit. Anyways, I'm grateful that I have someone who has too much and they're like, take it. Okay, I will then. Fine. Okay. So let's tap into the energies of today. I was already feeling it, and short fuses. I'm feeling a lot of just fed upness and people just being exhausted. And these are valid feelings as well. Right? Recognize them. The thing to do is to become the observer in those moments, right? Pull yourself up in a way and be the observer. Ah, I see. Oh, what's that? Right? Don't attach too much to it. Don't sew it into your identity. Okay, so we've got this beautiful card, and this was sticking out to me. Just this lone bubble. There's nowhere else. Okay, let's look it up. Wisdom. The earth energy of wisdom centers you in your body, granting access to your inner wisdom. Okay, yes. And I think that's exactly when you're noticing you're feeling a little out of sorts or easily irritated or not grounded. That's what it is. It's not grounded. So grab some green, okay? Hug a tree, share and release. This is how we ground. Or get yourself a piece of grounding crystal. 1 to 2 million, or is it billion years? It was a lot of years to make petrified wood. It's pretty cool. So speaking of wisdom, right? Yes. Okay. We got Gebo at the bottom, which is the swan. Let's see. With wisdom, with great wisdom comes great responsibility. It's true. And we've got messages from your ancestors coming in. Okay, this is where your wisdom's coming from. It's coming from your ancestral line. Every time you ground, you create a conduit, or you become a conduit, a connection. That information can flow through. And this is kind of one of my running theories. You know, in the Matrix, when Trinity's like, there's a helicopter here. I don't know how to fly one. Or not yet. Or I forget the line. But then they're just like, okay, do. And she uploads the information. And then she's like, okay, now I know. And she flies a helicopter. I feel like that's a real thing. Only you're tapping in to source. And source has been there and done that, right? But if we're on like this, I've heard this term called the oversoul, and it's like the main soul, and we're all fractured pieces of this main soul, and we're all experiencing and data collecting, and then we return to our oversoul. And this is the like akashic records, or the wisdom holders, the keeper of the data, right? And by tapping in, by grounding, by creating this connection, you are tapping into and accessing the information from your ancestral line, you know, stuff that they did and thought and saw and learned. And because I've always been someone who can pretty much do all the things that I want to do. You know, yes, it's also attitude. Whenever I'm faced with a challenge, I'm never like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, ooh, how can I do this? Right? What do I got to do to be able to do this? So I think that plays a role, but I also wonder if I am tapping into genetic memories of ancestors who have done it. And so in my own experience, that is a logical explanation, right? And yeah, I do feel like I could fly a helicopter if given the opportunity and shown. Like, it's the muscle memory thing is just quicker to pick it up because your genes have the memory, right? And yeah. So this is also why your intuition is really important, because that is also your line into your ancestral and genetic knowing, wisdom. Okay. Let's see what the cards want to tell us today about all this wisdom from our ancestry and its experience, right? Personal in this life, but also in our DNA. Okay. What card is gonna be our essential figure for this reading? It's your strength. Okay, beautiful. Your wisdom, your connection to your higher realms, to your ancestral realms is your strength. Okay, this is like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, whenever he goes into avatar mode, all past lives connect together, and he channels in the power, the knowing, the wisdom, all through his line. We got hammers on the roof over there. It's probably not picking up in the microphone, so that's good. But if you hear a subtle little tapping, That's what's going on. Okay. Legacy. Okay. Legacy and abundance. This is what you're tapping into. This is the generational and ancestral knowing, wisdom. Okay. Think about this tree. Every generation has nurtured and contributed to the growth of this tree, and it is producing fruit now. And as you engage with this tree, you have access to all of the fruits of previous generations' labors. And your strengthening of your connection to receive the messages from your ancestry, and that nurture and care and attention that you put into your wisdom, this is awarding access to the fruits. Okay. And it's also paving the way for the generations to come to more easily access as well. Okay, and it's because you have changed, you have transformed. You have transformed the patterns of the past. See, in this card here, these are all limiting beliefs, doubts and fears, projections from others, traumas, wounds, all of those things that come that were already there from unhealed things from the past that were carried forward, right? But also in your lifetime, wounds and hurts and stuff like that. And the old way was to alienate, to be suspicious, to assume the worst, to prepare for the worst, right? And in so doing, you created, or what is created, is a impenetrable force field, boundary line, defense mechanisms. And part of your strength and tapping in to your inner wisdom is recognizing and re-empowering yourself so that you don't need to live in that way anymore, right? You transformed into one who is so strong in your heart and with your connection that you don't need those boundary line, or not the boundary lines, the defense mechanisms anymore. The same ones that were passed on, right? Assume the worst. Be prepared for everything. Okay, and this is your becoming. This is what you transformed into, a magician. Someone who is able to transform whatever is given to you into something beautiful. Right? Before, when someone rejected you, it would make your heart hurt. You would go within, you would withdraw, you would be succumbed and overwhelmed with grief and wallow in that self-pity and maybe even self-deprecating thoughts like, I'm no good, people don't love me, all this kind of stuff. And you're tapping in your strength and your legacy is your ability to transmute, to turn those things. It's like this recognition, right? It's like the shift of perspective. How someone treats you is a reflection of where they're at in their healing, and it has nothing to do with you. So that's part of your wisdom. When someone rejects you, it's like, oh, okay, I'm not for you. That's okay. I'm not for everybody. Right? And there's your power. There's your gold. There's your unfuckwithableness. Okay. Interesting. So the devil came out with this beautiful balance card. And I think what it's saying is the devil is the adversary. It's the thing that confronts you, that blocks you, that keeps you from your balance, right? And this isn't to say that they're not equally external as well as internal, right? We can have our own doubts and fears within ourselves. We can also pick up on other people's doubts and fears and mistaken them as our own. A lot of forces trying to disrupt balance, peace, joy, happiness, celebration, gratitude, right? Everything that this card represents. And so this is the heavy, right? The fear and the love, and your attention to either fuels it. So it's also that old way, worst case scenario, right? Now you are best case scenario. All things work out in my favor. Full stop, period, right? Oh, but what if things don't work out? Well, that's the old way. All things work in my favor, even when it doesn't seem like it obviously is. It still is. This is that dedication. This is that strength and resolve. This is your wisdom, because you've seen enough evidence of all things working in your favor, that it's undeniable, that you can hold the faith of it. And there's a trusting that that's that faith in the unknown, right? Even when something looks less than ideal, even if something is heartbreaking that happens to you, sometimes our heart, well, most of the times our heart needs to be broken in order to heal. Like it's like we think it's our heart breaking, but it's actually this shell, this defense mechanism that's around the heart that we placed there to protect it, but it's also keeping everything else out. So you need to break it. It's reminding me of the bleeding heart, right? Where the bloom actually has to split open to let the drop out to heal, right? Just like you need to heal it to feel it, or feel it to heal it. You got to let the things out. So this is a trust. I had this instant after my Oma died. I was cooking something, baking something, and I had the what do you call those things? The whippers, the double whippers, in the machine. You plug them in and plug it in and turn it on, and it whips your cream. I had put them in, and as I was putting them in, I had it plugged in, and I accidentally hit it on when I was pushing them in, and so they immediately sucked my fingers in, and I turned it off. And those things, they don't have a rewind. They don't have a back button. And so I had to like rip my fingers out of them. And it sucked. It was painful. But then, and so I cried, but then I cried a lot, like a deep inner releasing, and it became a catalyst to release this grief that I hadn't yet with my Oma. And so, we can really focus in on, oh, this thing happened and that sucks, and why does it happen, and blah, and whatever. Or you can look at it like, that needed to happen. That helped me open up, crack open, and release, as an example. Okay. So we have the moon, things hidden, things in the dark, things yet to be revealed, things to be revealed in divine timing when the moon is right? And yes, and yes. I want to put the devils on the grounding stone. Actually, both of them. Because you're grounding and releasing. It's like when I ground, especially with the petrified wood piece, I picture roots coming out the bottom of my feet and reaching right down to the core of the earth, to the heart, the center of the earth, and wrapping around it. Sometimes the heart is a giant crystal, and it's beautiful, right? And I'm releasing all the dense energy, all the fears, all the doubts, all the things that aren't serving. And then I pull up this radiant green healing from the core of the earth so that it replaces and fills all those spots in my body that was holding this dense energy, is replaced by this beautiful, gorgeous, loving, balanced heart energy from the earth. Okay, so that might be something that you want to try. You can do that in the forest, holding a tree. Now, trees are pentacle energy, they're earth energy, and they are slow. So a lot of the times they don't even know that we're around unless we let them know, and then give them a minute, right? Give them a minute to be like, what? Who said that? Oh, hello down there, right? And then the beautiful exchange that can happen. But if you need the science, there's a scientific thing with your negative ions and electrons and exchange. Yes. Oh, beautiful. That's exactly it. Your grounding is going to be your success. Your grounding is your balance, right? This is that gorgeous balance between your releasing of the shadow and your receiving of the light. Beautiful. Okay. So we've got the High Priestess here, which is also some kind of gorgeous, because the High Priestess and the Magician are divine counterparts. These two are the masculine and feminine magic within. Your intuitive and your physical, right? The Magician turns lead into gold. That's a very physical thing. The high priestess knows, feels, and sees. And that's the feminine. Okay, this is your balance. Beautiful. We've got the sun and the moon here as well, which is a whole lot of other kind of gorgeous balance. Spirit is speaking loud today. Beautiful. Okay, so yes, protection. Okay, this is the awareness of your transformation from the old ways into the new ways, right? It starts with awareness, it starts with recognition, it starts with acknowledgement, and then it's followed with rewriting. And this is where it takes a lot of patience and compassion with self, because we are rewiring circuits that have been in place for generations. Okay, so it's not so easy. It's not such a switch. It's not something that happens overnight. It can happen over years, decades. Okay, but your ability to protect yourself, to keep yourself safe, to recognize your capacity to empower and to take control of your life and to guard against the old ways and the adversaries is part of your strength. It's part of your wisdom, right? You've lived enough to recognize that feeling suspicious and anxious and fearful, how that affects your nervous system, how that affects your heart, how it affects your relationships, how it affects your life. And you want something different, right? Your body in a state of fight or flight mode versus stillness and peace. Well, that's night and day right there, right? Okay. Okay, yes. Creating strong boundaries. This is how you protect yourself from all of those old ways. I want to put this here. Boundaries around the feelings and not the feelings. I mean, it's important to feel the feels because you need to feel it to heal it. So if you need to, if you're feeling a way, then give yourself the time, the space to feel those things. But make sure that it is you're feeling it to heal it, not because you're addicted to the chemical releases that feeling that way gives you. Okay, and that's part of one of the things that we have to sever and heal within ourselves is this. That's a shadow version of self, right? Where we start to seek out drama because it is feeding or fueling aspects of self, like either a sense of control, right? When you are feeling out of control in all these areas of your life, it's like, well, if I pick a fight with somebody, I know how to navigate that. I know how to win. I know how to bulldoze somebody over and take control or cause havoc in someone else's life. These are toxic shadow versions of self that we create as a defense mechanism. It's like an overcompensation for past hurts and traumas. This is why doing the work to heal all the parts, to reintegrate, to bring back into the heart is hard work, because it's deep excavating. But while you are in the mud, in the dirt, in the throes of excavation, there are also treasures, right? Lost versions of self, healed versions of self, parts of self that you can bring into your heart. And it's kind of like every trauma in our life, we're just our wholeness. We're like a giant 3-dimensional puzzle. And every trauma, there's a little piece of us that is left in that time, in that place, when that version of self wasn't heard, wasn't acknowledged, was hurt, was used and abused, and all these things. And part of this excavation is to find and reintegrate all those fractured pieces of ourselves so that we can become whole. This is also part of the transmuting process, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so yes, your ability to focus on your gratitude and not on your losses is where your power is. That's where your protection is. That's what you're guarding against, or guarding and creating boundaries around for. Because when you slip into loss, you slip into density. This was an old way, right? That tendency, worst case scenario, suspicion, which leads to the inability to recognize friend from foe. Okay, your boundaries are key. I actually want to put them up here because boundaries are everywhere, for everything, for them, for you, all of the above. Okay, and then we've got the Two of Cups, which is beautiful. Okay, the Two of Cups. This is two overflowing cups coming together, which supersizes them. And they join forces, and their overflows combine to create this waterfall of gorgeous love fest. Okay, and then there's this beautiful lake of love that everybody floats and soaks around in together, frolicking and playing. Okay, that's what happens with the Two of Cups. Okay, so we've got all these divine counterparts. We got the sun and the moon. We got the high priestess and the magician. And we've got adversaries and ideals, the worst case scenario and the best case scenario. And your balancing. This is your wisdom. This is your choosing, your mindful choosing of love constantly. And it starts with the love within. It starts with love within. It starts with the balance. Yes, this is the shifting out. And going within. Okay, so the King of Cups came out, and so did the Five of Pentacles. But the Five of Pentacles landed on its side between your intuition and your balanced, celebratory, gorgeous vest here. And so this is you trusting your intuition and moving into your heart, especially because we've got the King of Cups here, which is the Heart King. This is your heart space, open, strong, compassionate, caring, creative, tapped in. Okay. And it's your heart that fuels both, it's part of your tether and grounding pathway. Your heart is the center of your electromagnetic field, right? That's why it's so important to maintaining and creating this connectedness. And it required you choosing to go into the heart, to be balanced between your masculine and your feminine, and go within. Right? Your masculine is the doer and your feminine is the beer. And it is the balance between your being and your doingness. Okay. Let's get some Fae. They are all about the balancing and the forestry and the wisdom. Oi. Okay. Okay. So we got the Retriever, number 41. Ilby is trying to remind you of something you've lost, a hope perhaps, or a dream. You may have thought it gone forever, but he is holding it out to you for reconsideration. He thinks you can do something with it now. The way may not be obvious, but his clever nose has scented a path, a potential opening for bringing this into your life. Sometimes Ilby may be saying that a long-awaited dream is at last arriving on the scene, and there's nothing we need to do but open our hearts and minds to it. However, we usually have to work for it. Another attribute of Ilby is loyalty. And that would be the loyalty to your heart, right? To yourself. Beautiful. Okay. And then we also have himself. Natural law, life force, magic, and shamanic power. When himself appears in a card spread, he not only indicates that a great amount of energy is present in the reading, but he also strongly energizes the fairy cards around him. Everything he touches becomes more of what it is, more alive, more vigorous, more powerful, more awesome, or more awful. This card in a reading can indicate great vitality, victory, or triumph, confidence, and power. There is leadership, an ability to command, steadfastness, and integrity, wild power held and channeled for the good of all by will. Himself speaks of protection, either of the querent or of someone the querent owes protection to, like a child or an elder. Acceptance of paternal responsibility is important, as are deep and committed relationships. He is the preserver of the natural world and its balances. Shamanic power may be indicated here, as well as a potential for powerful spiritual healing. This card may also speak of erotic energy, passion, and potent creativity. Beautiful. Okay. So yeah, masculine energy, bada boom. So yeah, the protection, the power, the empowering, and the reiteration. Yeah, this is a powerful reading. Like wisdom, strength, legacy, the sun and the moon, the magician, the high priestess. Like if that doesn't say shaman and balance, then I don't know what is. And the amount of protection and letting go, right? With these fives, this is the one way or the other. We're either focusing on the loss or we're focusing on the gratitude. We're either denying the heart or we're moving into the heart, right? So your ability to choose, to direct, to this is what moves you away from the old way. This is part of your transformation. Yeah, and then we got the boundaries and the protection. So that is awesome. That's just awesome. Okay. What else? Mushroom wisdom? Mushroom wisdom. I decided I'm going to redo my love messages. I just got all excited and this is kind of like the first draft. I didn't really spend a lot of time on it. I just kind of made them really quick. And now every time I pull one out, I can see that and it bugs me. So, in my mind, I was like, whatever, it's just for me. But I can also have beautiful things for me. So I will remake them into beautiful things. Okay. So we got Split Gill, a number 25, and it's adapt. Beautiful. It's edible and medicinal. Okay, being able to adapt to any condition or environment is important. How do you weather the storm? Do you conserve your energy when the time is quiet, or do you notice nature's cycles happening around you? When you become more in tune with your natural surroundings, you understand energy flow. You can choose to align yourself with this energy and ease into a state of flow, or you can fight the cycles and burn out or exhaust yourself by trying to swim upstream against the current. The split gill shows you how to adapt to the current situation to preserve yourself. Is there a situation in your life at present that you need to stop fighting and just give into the flow or adapt to the current circumstances? There may be a situation coming up that you need to adapt to, so remember this advice when it comes. Not everyone will be a fan of what you do, but there are others who will. There is no pleasing everybody, so just please yourself and do what is necessary to provide yourself with a safe environment. This also says that you might want to take time out and only reemerge when you are rested and feeling more refreshed. Maybe taking a break from social media or a situation that has left you feeling deflated is needed. Recharge yourself and only give yourself things that nourish you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Then, when you are fully charged, come back into view. Beautiful. Beautiful confirmations. Yes. You can choose to align yourself with the energies and ease into a state of flow, or you can fight the cycles and burn out or exhaust yourself by trying to swim upstream against the current. Right? Yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful confirmations. Okay, let's. Okay. Whenever they drop on the floor, I feel like it's like extra. It's just extra. I trust the process of life. Okay. Another beautiful confirmation. Yes, this is your alchemy. This is your intuition. This is your connection to your wisdom. All things are working in your favor, regardless of what they look like on the surface. Things are deeper and more complex than we know. Okay, we'll get some guidance from the kiddos. All of the guidance from the kitties. We've got focus, we've got guardian, we've got majesty, and we've got wild. Meet Artemis. She is the master hunter. She can focus her attention like a laser beam. She has crystal clear vision and razor sharp hearing. She even has some extra antenna that can pick up on subtle clues. She observes everything, knows how to be invisible, and leaps out at the perfect moment. We often have a zillion ideas floating in our minds. We are multitasking machines. When Artemis shows up, it is time to pick one thing, to hone in and quell distractions. How will we ever catch that mouse if we don't focus on it, letting everything else fade into the background for the moment? It's Mims. Wild. Meet Samson. He is a shimmering concoction of wildness and strength. He lives perpetually under the full moon. With limitless abandon, he races over the hills, feeling the perfect harmony of his body moving unhindered by thoughts, unfettered by beliefs of who he should be or how he should act. Samson is fully himself without question or excuse. If you have been the oh-so-proper house cat for too long, step outside and awaken your precious wild self. Unleash your longings and join Samson under the moon's wild light. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Majesty. Meet Majesty. She lives inside each of us. She is the queen of the vulnerable heart, the yearning soul, and the seeking mind. She helps us see our majesty, helps us to hone our gifts, hone our skills, and be true to our word. Let us not diminish ourselves with endless self-criticisms and self-negation. We must wear our crown of light and love with confidence, grace, and generosity of spirit. We all have something to teach and share with our fellows. Cultivate kindness and respect toward yourself so that your gifts may flourish and be shared freely with those around you. Beautiful kitty confirmations and guardian. Meet Lavandril. She stands sentinel, a gentle yet protective force. She can help you guard your mind against negativity, defeatism, and delusion. She is a shield that only allows the words and actions of people with compassionate intentions to reach the depths of your being. She keeps your true self safe as you journey into the depths, seeking understanding and healing. She is a master space holder. Lavandril will hold your hand in her paw as you cry, as you dance wildly, as you merge with all, and as you dissolve and evolve. Wow. Wow. Wowza. Beautiful. Okay. Well, okay, let's just do a couple quick love messages. It's okay to cry. Yes, you need to feel it to heal it. And so, after you've cried, bring yourself out of that by celebrating with gratitude the release of all of that had just come out, because that's stuff you got out. Shine bright like a diamond. Yes, this pressure has turned you into a diamond, right? The pressure turns the coal into diamond. Cooperative components are working in your favor. This is that trusting in the unseen, trusting that all things are working in your favor, because it goes beyond just what you can perceive. It's the subtle minutiae of all of the things that cooperate to bring you and show you your magic. Forest time. Yes, get into it. Ground. Be there. Pie and chai. There's nothing more healing than pie and chai, unless, of course, you have aversions to gluten and dairy and all that stuff, flavor and deliciousness. No, just kidding. But I'm sure you could find your equivalent. It's more about take the time to give your heart what it wants. For me, it's pie and chai usually. Okay. And you are strong. The most important part. Okay. This is a beautiful reiteration of the strength that you are holding in your legacy, in your balance, in your wisdom. Okay. Yes. Okay. There is the reading for today. Look at this. Sun, moon, high priestess, magician, your heart space, your joy, the old ways, right? Your boundaries, your messages, your wisdom. And look, this is what I got going on here. All of the crystals in the world. Okay. Yes. And dragons. Okay. Well, I appreciate you and all that you are doing, seen and unseen, known and unknown, is rippling out and having an effect. And so I thank you and I love you and I appreciate you. The world appreciates you. It is as it is because you are in it and you're beautiful, you're strong, you're capable, you're magic, and you are amazing. Okay. Love you and hope to see you next time. Bye for now.